Okay, so let's get started. To make this purse, you need to make 6 granny squares and 4 half granny squares. So I have already uploaded tutorials for the both. The link is given in the description. Now this is how you need to place your granny squares, and I need to make one more granny square to complete this. Okay, so I'm almost done with all the squares. Now I need to tuck in all the ends and then start joining. So I'm gonna use a whip stitch. So I'm gonna start from here throughout here and leave some extra tail behind, because we'll use it later, and then from here till here and leave some extra tail behind, and from here till here we don't need an extra tail. Then again start from here throughout, leave some extra tail here, and then from here till here leave some extra tail, and here you don't need to leave an extra tail. So I'll show you a rough sketch which I've made. Okay, so this is my rough sketch. Okay, so I have marked from how I'm going down and here down, again here and one over here. So I'm gonna leave extra tails here, okay, then here, okay, then here and here. So 4 points is where we are going to leave extra tails. So I have completed tucking in all the ends of the granny square. Next I am going to start joining. So I'm going to use a whip stitch to join the granny squares. For the whip stitch, try to use the same color of yarn you used in your last round of the granny square. Now to start with the joining, the right sides of the granny squares should be facing together and the wrong side of the granny square should be facing towards you. Insert the darning needle through the top of the stitch, that is through both the loops, and then the same goes for the second granny square also. Now pull through, leave a little tail behind to sew in it later. Move to the next stitch, insert the darning needle through both the loops of both the granny squares. Make sure to place the granny squares on the top of each other very tight and nice so that it doesn't sway away. Repeat the same process throughout. So I have almost reached the first set of the joining. Now when you reach the corner, there is chain 2 for both the granny squares. So what I do is to both the chain 2s I do the whip stitch and then continue to the next set. This is to avoid the gaps between the two sets. I did try before to just work on one chain 2 and then move on to the next set, but there was always a gap between the two sets. So this way the joint also looks beautiful and there won't be much gap between the two sets. So I'm moving on to the next set. So into the chain 2 space, to the first chain 2, I'm gonna insert the darning needle the same way to the second granny square and to the second chain 2 as well, and then I'm going to continue the same. The same way I am going to join all the granny squares, and I'll meet you back once I finish. Well, I'm done joining all the granny squares and I have also left extra tails as I have mentioned earlier. Now next I just need to fold it into half and then fold the side granny squares as well, and then join it again using the whip stitch with the extra tails I have left. So after sewing these two granny squares, I'm also planning to make a border mostly of single crochets. You can watch the rest of the tutorial in the second part, which will be uploaded soon. Thanks for watching.